Today I'm doing a faded pompadour, faded quiff, and this is something that you haven't seen in a while. So I'm using a number of guards here, and I'm going to be, bouncing around with guards going from shorter to longer. Clipper work is something that I've been doing for many, many, many years, especially that I'm a hairstylist. I'm not a barber. I did learn in beauty school, believe it or not, really early on using clippers. I had no idea how to fade hair. I'll be honest with you. And I was doing haircuts like this. I was literally leaving like ledges in the hair. And I learned eventually that you had to fade that line out. And you'll see that here. So what I'm doing is I'm just working my way up, going from a shorter, like I'm starting with a number 1 guard, and I'll be working my way all the way up to like a number 4. But I will be using ones in between, like the half guard. I'll be using the 1.5 guard. A number of guards that you absolutely need. And again, I'm not a barber, and I am somewhat of a hybrid though. I do like men's haircutting. I had a huge male clientele, and the goal of these types of haircuts is to create a good fade, but I like to work from the bottom up, and a lot of people tend to work from the top down, bottom up. This is my preference because I like to work it's like a foundation of a house. Like when I do haircuts, I don't start with the layering. I start with the foundation, the base. So I like to start with the base and then work my way up, and then go back in as needed if I need to like do any tweaking or, scissor-over-comb, which I will be doing here. Now, keep in mind, this is extremely thick. These mannequin heads have such thick hair, and there's so much of it. So it's something that, you need good, powerful clippers. I'm using the Wall. These are the, I don't know if it's 100th. I think it's a 100th anniversary edition, so they're pretty expensive. However, they are very powerful, and I've been using them for a very, very long time. Cutting mannequin heads, once again, is extremely difficult compared to humans. It's just the way the hair is stitched. It's not always so easy. So I definitely try my best to do the best blending and fading I possibly can. Now, one thing I want to make note of is I'm trying to, and the reason I do this is because I'm trying to always make sure that I'm working this into the actual shape of the haircut. I know a lot of times, especially if you're going to get your haircut and you go to a barber, sometimes they'll just cut it just to cut it, or fade it just to fade it, and meanwhile, and they're taking off way too much hairs in some area. I'm always cautious of that. That's why I like to work again from the bottom up, because I'm able to remove what I think is needed. So I'm building this foundation, and I'm gradually, kind of working that shape into the top. And, I'm doing this on fully dry hair. I know, some people may argue with me, and I have had some debates, but I always say, and a lot of barbers agree with me, that the best way to use clippers is on dry hair when you're doing stuff like this, when you're fading hair, when you're using short guards. Just because you can see everything the way it naturally lays when the hair is dry. When it's wet, the hair sticks to the guards. It's not as accurate. I don't know. To me, it's like you can't really, the hair clumps up. I personally like cutting hair with clippers on fully dry hair. Then I will go into the top and wet it down. So right now, I think this is like the longest guard that I was using. It's a 4 guard, I believe. It might be a 3. It looks like a 4 guard to me. And I'm literally just working my way upwards. I like to kind of get rid of all that weight and that bulk and work my way up. And then I go back in and do the blending, which is what most people do anyway. So even if you see some steps in the hair or lines, that's on purpose, because I'm going to go back in and get rid of them, or at least attempt to get rid of them after this. This to me is just essential to get rid of all that bulking and all that longer hair, right? And we're working this into like a shape. So again, depending on the hairstyle, the end result, going into this knowing that I wanted some sort of like quiff, some sort of, textured pompadour type of look. I know that like I have to work this in somehow so it blends into the top. I'm not really trying to go for a disconnection. That's what makes this haircut more difficult, is that like creating a disconnected shape is a lot easier. This, I'm actually trying to blend everything in and not create like a harsh disconnection. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going back in, I'm using no guard and, raising the lever slightly. So it's like 0, 0, 0, and then maybe like, almost like a half guard. And this is that like half guard into here to where it does help on shorter, areas when you're going from like a 0, 0, 0 to like a 1. This is what like that clipper guard is. And I used to see a lot of barbers using this, and I was like, oh, I need one of those. So it's a lifesaver, folks, a lifesaver having that guard, that half guard, because you can actually blend in areas that you really can't, or it makes it more difficult if you don't have this, right? So now I'm just, again, working that shape in. I'm trying to blend as best as I can, and, I want to get done with all of this. So then I can go in and do the top, right? So now I'm using the 1.5 guard, and you can see it's really kind of nicely just tapering that in even more. And yeah, so this is the 1.5 guard, which is basically if you're going from a 1 to a 2, this is right in between that. So this helps quite a bit as well. Really, really good. And this is all just about going over it and making sure it's perfect. And now I'm doing some scissor-over-comb. I have met barbers or hairstylists that don't really know how to do scissor-over-comb. They've actually admitted to me, they're like, I don't even know how to do this. I'm like, well, it does take some practice, but knowing this is like such an incredible asset and skill to have, because this is where you can really refine everything. You can go in and like remove any sort of lines, any sort of steps. You can soften things up. It's great for, layering like, or debulking like in one shot. Like it's just, you can cover more ground. Knowing scissor-over-comb is a game-changing technique. You have to know this, especially if you're cutting men's hair a lot, if you're cutting short hair, and if you're a barber. Now, as you can see, the hair is wet. I did go, and you can use a spray bottle. A lot of times I'll just use a spray bottle. The hair is just so damn thick. So I went back and I wet the hair down in the shampoo sink. And now what I'm doing is, this is the crucial part, is I'm working the back area into the top and then into the front. So this is where you make that like connection between, all right, we're done with the clippers and now it's all scissors. So here is where, we have to make that connection. I like to make the connection vertically. Once I have that, where I've connected the back into the top, I'm now going to go in horizontally. This is my TCS, top corners sides method of cutting hair, to where it's just a systematic, foolproof method that I use. I do have a brand new course on this, which is on my website, courses.thesalonguy.com, and you can you'll see it there. It says TCS method. It is a really incredible method. I do a full haircut on men's hair, like a curtains type of layered flow haircut, which is awesome. And then I do a layered, beautiful haircut for a woman's haircut. So, and then there's a bonus video too. So really, really awesome. Courses.thesalonguy.com. I'm applying that method right here in real time, top, corner, sides, because I'm just able to stay more organized, and I know that I'm cutting the top of the head now. This is what creates that like shape. And then you've got, because everyone's head pretty much for the most part rounds out. So I'm doing this and cutting everything out from the head. I've trained barbers with this. I've trained hairstylists specifically with barbers. Like, it's game changing. I've seen on their social media, their haircuts have just been elevated because now they're understanding how to actually blend and fade or connect something much easier, because they were having such a very difficult time. It wasn't really explained to them, or they were confused. They didn't know. This method is a lifesaver for doing this exact thing right here, cutting in the corners, blending in from the scissors to the clippers. Like, all of this is what I teach and what I go over. So this is really, really crucial. And again, this is thicker hair, so you got to go over it and over it. And now what I'm doing is I'm doing the Mohawk section check. This is where I go right down the middle, and I just try to make sure that everything is blended and connected. You can see I'm combing everything out from the head. I'm not over directing it up, I'm combing it out because there's some weight right there, as you can see. And if you don't do this, the hair just may lay a little bit awkward. It may not like have a nice flow. It might be too heavy. So that's where this comes in. This method is just going through the entire top. And you can see it's raking back nice. I'm going to use tidal wave. I'm going to use maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spritzes. Now I'm using my ionic dryer and my vent brush. The tidal wave works really well because it's designed to give your hair volume. It works phenomenally well on finer hair or thinner hair because the sea salt that's in it, it helps thicken the hair strands because it helps bind the hair together. So, and then the anti-static vent brush, which is like one of my favorite brushes ever, I'm able to mold and shape the hair primarily because of the rubber handle. It's got a rubber grip handle. It's not just plastic, so it's not slipping all over the place. I actually feel that grip in the handle in my hand, so I have full control of it, and that's why I love this brush. And secondly, there's no static. It's an anti-static vent brush, so it's designed to actually like prevent the static and the flyaways, which is crucial. I think this is looking pretty amazing. Now I'm going to style it, and as you can see, just like on the hair alone with nothing, no products, it looks great. Now I'm doing scissor-over-comb. This is where doing this on dry hair really, really, really comes into play. You see any steps in the hair. This is why I said doing clipper work and all that on dry hair, it's really essential. It just saves a lot of time, but scissor-over-comb is probably one of the best blending methods of all time because you can really customize the shape. And that's what I'm doing here is I'm really, really customizing it, and I'm just going over and spot checking and spot blending and doing whatever I gotta do if I see something. And that's where this method comes in really, really handy. Now, this is what's important. I'm taking the thinning shears and I'm going in and just removing a lot of weight. This is my chomp and release method where I just go in and I chomp the hair. I'm not going near the scalp because I want the ends, the mid shafts of the ends to look not so heavy and bulky. Going in with sea salt hair powder, my product Beach House. I'm tapping the top because this product does have a tendency to get a little messy. So you need to tap the top. This is the updated formula. It makes the hair feel soft, but has incredible volume in it. It's totally remarkable. It doesn't feel that heavy, like cement, sea salt feeling. It's not drying. It actually softens your hair, but the pliability is unreal. And this is the updated version. This is what's going out now. This is what's been available for the last month, I believe. So you definitely need to check this out. And, you know, do you have to use hair powder? No, you can use something else. And I'm actually going to show you something else in a minute. But I think this looks really great. Great pliability, great workability. And, yeah, I think this is an awesome style, as you can see through here. Now I'm using what is going to be the new clutch that's coming out in probably like a few weeks. I'm relaunching Clutch, Pregame, and Success Paste. I like this actually better because it does have a little more pliability. It does have a little more shape and workability, and also you can get loads of volume with it as well. So I like this, honestly. I like this product a lot better, I think, than the previous version. You get a ton of reworkability and a little more hold. It does have a little more hold, but it's going to be like, now I'm marketing it as a clay paste. So you've got the clay texture, you've got the paste with the hold, and I think it's a remarkable product. So you can see I'm just reworking that shape. I'm getting my fingers in there. I'm reworking it, adding that volume and texture, and I think it's coming out pretty awesome. Here is the finished result. I hope you all enjoy this. If you want to purchase any of the products I use, click View Products. Let me know if you like this style of video. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on this. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon.